Are you looking for a detailed, organized, deck-by-deck ship tour of the Norwegian Jade? Then I have just the video for you, so please stay tuned. I boarded the Norwegian Jade in the beautiful, historic New England port city of Boston, Massachusetts. Our 7-day cruise has taken us to Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, Halifax, Nova Scotia, St. John's, New Brunswick, and Portland, Maine. The 2 sea days we've had on this itinerary has given me ample opportunity to get to know this ship, and I am looking forward to sharing her with you. I will also share some tips along the way. I am currently in our cabin here on deck 10 aft. If you want to see the particulars of this cabin, check out our embarkation video. I will be taking you down to deck 4 to start the ship tour, but first, a few of the statistics and particulars of the NCL Jade. She was built in 2006 and has since undergone extensive remodeling. She has 1,200 cabins and holds about 2,400 guests and 1,030 crew. There are 3 stair towers on this ship, 1 forward, 1 midship, and 1 aft. On our tour today, we will access most decks except deck 4 from the forward stairwell and work our way back. Let's head down to deck 4 and get this tour started. I will be taking you down the stairs. If you've ever seen any of my other tour videos, you know that I do not take elevators. That is one way I am able to eat what I want on this cruise and not gain weight. Of course, no judgment here. I understand some people cannot take the stairs. As we arrive on deck 4 midship, I would like to point out that the midship stair tower has 4 elevators that go all the way up to deck 13. Haven guests can also access deck 14 from this elevator. Deck 4 is a deck of inside and ocean view cabins, which are located portside between the midship stairwell and front of the ship only. Gangways used to access some ports of call are also located in this area of deck 4. Deck 4 midship is also the location of this very important place, which, by the way, I hope you never have to visit. This is the medical center. As we head down the portside hallway towards the front of the ship, passing the passenger cabins on this deck, let me say that this area can get pretty congested on port days. As was the case on a couple of our cruise line booked excursions, we were escorted from the Stardust Theater at the front of the ship to the gangway midship deck 4 through this corridor. If you book a cabin here, the congestion may become an issue for you. Here at the forward stairwell, there are 4 elevators that will take you up to deck 13. Leaving deck 4, we arrive on deck 5. Deck 5 is a deck of cabins. These cabins are located both port side and starboard side and extend just aft of the midship stairwell. Leaving deck 5, we arrive on deck 6, a deck of public spaces with the theater in the front and the main dining rooms in the back. From the stairwell heading port side, straight forward here are restrooms. If we were to turn left, we would enter the casino. But we are going to head forward, that is, to the right. Before arriving at the Stardust Theater, we come to 3 meeting rooms to the left. Here is what one of those meeting rooms looks like. We now enter the Stardust Theater. This multi-level theater seats about 1,042 people and has tiered seating spanning decks 5, 6, and 7. It hosts evening shows, games like Wheel of Fortune and Deal or No Deal, excursion and shop talks, and is the meetup place for shore excursions. The back of the seats have air vents, so if you are prone to get chilly, bring a jacket or sweater when you come to this theater. And this is what it looks like from the stage area. Exiting the Stardust Theater on the starboard side and heading towards the back of the ship, we pass public restrooms on the left here, and arrive at the forward stairwell and the entrance to the casino. I don't gamble myself, but this does appear to be one of the largest cruise ship casinos I have ever seen. Besides the various machines and game tables you would expect to find in a cruise ship casino, there is a bar here that services this area. Leaving the casino, we come to a lounge called Magnum's. This lounge area is very busy in the evenings with live music and people gathering for drinks. During the daytime, it is used for activities. This is also a great area to get close to the water views of the ocean from these windows. To the right of this area is Humidor Cigar Lounge. It is for smoking cigars. Cigarette smoking is not allowed. Exiting the cigar lounge and continuing to the right is one of the specialty dining restaurants, Le Bistrot. It is an elegant dining venue offering French cuisine. As we exit Le Bistrot, let's get a quick peek at where this staircase leads. It is really nice having the single flight of stairs here to access Deck 7 and the amenities just upstairs. Now it's back to Deck 6 to continue our tour. Now that we had a peek at where those stairs led, it's time to check out the 3 bars in this area. The first is Magnum's Champagne and Wine Bar. Thus, they call this area Magnum's. The second bar is around the corner, and it is Mixer's Martini and Cocktail Bar. The third bar is Tanker's Beer and Whiskey Bar. There is another area of seating here. Heading aft of Tankers, we arrive at the midship stairwell and entrance to the Alizar main dining room. This dining room may look rather small for a main dining room, but that is because there is another main dining room on this ship. The other main dining room is called the Grand Pacific, but it can only be accessed from Deck 7 at the aft stairwell. We will visit it during our tour of Deck 7. It is now time to head back to the forward stairwell and continue our tour on Deck 7. Deck 7 is a deck of public spaces. This deck happens to have one of my most favorite features of a cruise ship, and that is an outdoor promenade that circles the entire ship. And that is where I'm going to take you first. I just love being out here. Enjoy the time-lapse walk around the promenade. Entering the front portside door we exited from, we find ourselves back in the forward stairwell. As we look right, we see the portside entrance to the Bliss Lounge, but we are going to go left and just pop into the Stardust Theater and get a brief top-down look of the theater. Exiting the theater and crossing over the forward stairwell, we come to the starboard hallway that will take us towards the aft of the ship. First stop is the Bliss Lounge. This lounge is used for karaoke, exercise classes, live music, and other activities and events. As we leave the Bliss Lounge, let me say this corridor between the forward stairwell and the atrium can get very congested, especially in the evenings. To avoid some of the crowds, you may try using the outdoor promenade to get from the front of the ship to the back of the ship or vice versa. We are now entering the area that overlooks Magnum's below on Deck 6, and the location of the sake bar and 3 Asian dining venues. The sushi bar is an a la carte restaurant. Jasmine is an Asian fusion restaurant. For our sailing, Jasmine was a complimentary venue, but according to the NCL website, after January 1st, 2025, there will be a cover charge for this dining venue. I have to say this was our favorite restaurant on this ship. Finally, there's teppanyaki, which is located in this little side room over here. This is a Japanese restaurant where the chef cooks your food in front of you. I heard good reviews about this restaurant. Continuing aft on our way to our next stop, the main atrium, I want to stop first at the midship stairwell because there is a plaque that gives honor to the vessel's origins. The ship was christened the Pride of Hawaii in May of 2006 and conducted sailings around the Hawaiian Islands until February 2008. It was then that she was renamed the Norwegian Jade. In 2017, she had a major refit and much of the Hawaiian-themed decor went away. This plaque gives tribute to this ship's origins. Now, let's go check out the atrium. Welcome to the atrium, the hub of the ship. This area is usually very busy. It hosts demonstrations and live music throughout the day. The ceiling light fixture can be quite entertaining and beautiful at night. Before I show you around down here, let's take a quick detour up these steps because I want to show you the one and only public space located on Deck 8. This is Ocean's Neighborhood Bar and Grill. It is a 24-hour complimentary pub-style restaurant serving up your favorite comfort foods. You heard me correctly. It is open all day, every day, and it is included in your cruise fare. This restaurant can be accessed from the passenger cabin hallways on this deck as well. You don't have to use the stairs in the atrium. back here on Deck 7, it's time to point out what is in this area. Located in this area is a small shop, the restaurant reservations desk, guest services, shore excursions desk, cruise next where you can book your next cruise, and finally, in the center here, Java Cafe, the specialty coffee bar. Continuing aft on the starboard side, we come to the photo gallery, where you can purchase camera equipment as well as photos taken of you throughout the cruise. All the way aft is Trade Winds. This is the one-stop shop on board the ship. Unlike many other cruise ships, all the shops are in this one area. It's almost like a department store. Before we head over to the port side and head forward, I need to show you the second main dining room. At the aft stairwell here, you can access the Grand Pacific. Whereas Al-Azhar is more modern, Grand Pacific dining room is more traditional and very elegant, with great aft and side views of the ocean. Remember how we accessed this dining room? By descending the stairs from Deck 7? You may be wondering if this dining room is handicap accessible. Yes, it is. By exiting the dining room on either side of the stairs here, you can access Deck 6 aft stair tower and take an elevator car up. But we are going to take the stairs back up to Deck 7. From the aft stairwell heading forward on the port side, we entered the space shared by the art gallery and the internet cafe. This desk is where you will find the technology expert who can help you with accessing the Wi-Fi while on board. You will also find computers that you can use, but you will need the internet package to get online. A word about the Wi-Fi on board the Jade. Our sailing was the first sailing with the new Starlink service. They have some kinks to work out, but I have to say we have had pretty good speeds. We now find ourselves back at the Atrium and will make our way back to the front stairwell to continue our tour on the upper decks. Other than oceans, Deck 8 is a deck of passenger cabins. Decks 9 and 10 are entirely passenger cabins. Deck 11 is a deck of passenger cabins, but like Deck 8, it has one area that is a public space. The one public space on Deck 11 is all the way forward, and it is called the Bridge Observation Room. It is really cool to see the workings of the bridge while at sea, but don't take any photos or videos of the bridge. This room also houses all the port plaques and some cool videos that talk about how they build the ship. Deck 12 is a deck of public spaces with the spa and fitness center in the front, the pool and children's areas in the middle, and dining venues at the back. Arriving onto Deck 12 at the front stair tower and turning towards portside, we arrive at the Pulse Fitness Center. Not a large fitness center, but at least it has ocean views. I'm sure it gets the job done for those who like to use it. Of course, I haven't needed it all week because I've been taking stairs and doing a lot of walking. There are restrooms in that alcove. Crossing the front stairwell towards the starboard side and turning left, we come to the Mandara Spa and Salon. We enter into the salon shop and reception area. And to the right is the hair and nail salon. Forward of the reception area are hallways of treatment rooms and the relaxation area. To the left is access to the co-ed relaxation suite and therapy pool and the men's thermal suite and locker room. At the end of this hallway is the co-ed relaxation suite and therapy pool area. But we are going to head to the women's locker room. Upon entering, we have a locker room set up. Steam shower, cold water pool, sauna, and an area with a hot tub and relaxation loungers with great forward-facing views. Just off this area is the co-ed area with a hydrotherapy pool and thermal loungers. Also with great forward-facing views. All the amenities in this area are open to passengers who have purchased a thermal suite pass. One of these trips, I might have to try one of those passes. Heading aft from the front stair tower on the starboard side of the ship, we come to the hallway that is home to the library, the game room, and the specialty photography studio. Here is some footage of those rooms from earlier this week. The library is a great place to go if you want somewhere quiet to read. But don't expect to be here alone. It can be quite busy. Checking out books is limited to the hours that an attendant is here. The card room, like the library, can be quite busy, but it is a nice place to come to play games. The specialty portrait studio is where you will come for a private photo shoot, which of course has an extra fee associated with it. Exiting the hallway here, we enter the pool area. Consulting footage I took on a sunnier day, which, by the way, makes this area so much prettier and more inviting. From the middle of the pool deck and spanning to the right, you can see the stairs that give easy access to the sun decks up on deck 13 and 14. The pool to the right here is considered the adult-only pool and has 2 hot tubs on the far side. The gazebo here hosts live music as well as dance classes and activities. To the left is another pool with 2 more hot tubs. Heading further aft, we come to Topsider's Bar and Grill, or should I say Grill and Bar, as the grill is on the starboard side here and Topsider Bar is on the port side over there. I cannot give a review on this grill one way or the other because the 2 times we planned to eat here, they were not open. I am not sure if it was because of the weather or because it was a port day. One last view of the pools from Topsiders on this blustery day. Exiting the pool area and just before entering the midship stairwell, let me point out one of my favorite lounging places. This little alcove, if you are fortunate enough to be able to snag it, is like a private little lounge as there is seating for only 2. Granted, there are people coming in and out behind you, but it does feel somewhat private. We did find it empty a couple of times and spent some time out here. Entering the midship stairwell, we see the entrance to the buffet. But first, I want to show you around the children's areas, which are also located in this area. Granted, I do not have children on this cruise, and these areas are closed off to the general population during the cruise. I was able to get some footage of this area on embarkation day. Let's check it out. On our way to see Entourage, let's check out the arcade. In staying true to my commitment to avoid videotaping other passengers, footage of the garden buffet is limited. This buffet is so small, so when there is anyone in this area, it is significant and noticeable. There are people here nearly all the time, so it has made it quite difficult to get footage here. But I will do what I can to give you a general idea of what this area looks like. From the map, you can see that the main buffet is located solely on the starboard side of the ship. I have not been a fan of this buffet. The food seems very cafeteria-ish to me, and the variety seems to be very limited. Seating is also limited in the buffet area to these small areas. La Cucina restaurant is located portside aft and is overflow seating for the buffet during the day, but becomes the Italian specialty dining room in the evening. Aft of the main buffet is a small buffet and seating area called the Great Outdoors. Hint, if the main buffet appears closed and you are hungry, check the Great Outdoors. They usually have snacks in this area, including afternoon tea. Great place to get aft views while enjoying your meal. There is a bar back here that services this area, and flanking both sides of the area are stairs that will take you up to Deck 13. I will give you a closer look at them when we are touring Deck 13. It is time to head back towards the front of the ship and continue our tour on Deck 13. Deck 13 is a deck of public spaces. We will be accessing decks 14 and 15 forward while on Deck 13 forward, and decks 14 and 15 aft while touring Deck 13 aft. Heading portside here on Deck 13, we come to the entrance to the Spinnaker Lounge. Just before entering the lounge itself, there is a chapel to the left. Not too many ships have a chapel anymore. Spinnaker Lounge has great panoramic views during the daytime. At times, it is a quiet place to relax and enjoy the ocean views, but often it is the location for many events and activities throughout the day and evening. There is a bar here that services this area. Leaving deck 13 forward stairwell, we enter the sun deck area. Before we see the sun deck and the rest of deck 13, we are going to take these stairs up to deck 14 and 15 forward to see two other sun decks that offer great forward and rear facing views. I am sure this deck is utilized a lot more on warmer itineraries. Deck 15 has great views as well. One more quick panoramic look from up here on deck 14. Such wasted space on these cool weather cruises. We are now back on deck 13 as we head aft here on the starboard side. Before we get to the stairs going down to the pool deck, we come to pit stop to the right here. This is a race car themed outdoor bar. This side of the bar here is a smoking section. Time to pass the open area to the pool deck below and head towards midship. On nice days, unlike today's blustery windy day, this deck is full and barely passable. We now arrive at the midship area, and just inside here is a bar and two specialty dining restaurants I'd like to show you. This is the midship stairwell, so these restaurants can be accessed from the inside stairs and elevators as well. Just inside the doors and to the right is Sugar Cane Mojito Bar. And just beyond the Mojito Bar is Moderno, the Brazilian steakhouse. This area is also used for Haven guests for breakfast and lunch. Across the hall is Cagney's Steakhouse. We ate at this restaurant one evening during our cruise. The ambience was great, but the food was mediocre and not quite what we expected for a specialty dining steakhouse. Exiting the midship stairwell area and continuing aft on the outside deck, you can play a life-size game of chess here, and there is a driving range here. These stairs and the one over there lead up to decks 14 and 15. I will show you those decks when we get around to the port side of the ship. These stairs lead down to the Great Outdoors buffet and eating area on deck 12. Here at the back and looking forward, we see the sports court. I will give you a top-down look of this court when we get up to deck 14. Where you see the orange path on the deck, that is the jogging track. It wraps all the way around the funnel and midship area. Heading towards the port side, passing another set of stairs down to the Great Outdoors. And heading forward, we come to the port side stairs that lead up to decks 14 and 15. Deck 14 provides access to stadium-type seating overlooking the sports court below. This has not been utilized on our cruise, so I don't know quite what they use it for. Starboard side is another stairway that leads to deck 15. This is the location of the helicopter pad, and it is also a sun deck, also not used on this voyage. This is a great place for a selfie picture with the NCL funnel in the background. Back here on deck 14 and heading port side towards the stairs that will take us back down to deck 13, we find one of the controlled entrances to the haven. Of course, we are not allowed in that area, so we won't be going in there. Heading back down to deck 13, we continue forward on the port side and come to another driving range and another life-size checkers and chessboard. Back at the midship area, we get one final look at the pool deck below. Heading forward, we get another view of the pit stop bar. This section here is non-smoking. And with that, we have come to the end of our tour of the Norwegian Jade. Time to head back down to our cabin on deck 10. I hope this cruise ship tour was a help to you as you plan your cruise vacation aboard the NCL Jade. I hope the hints were helpful. If you have any comments or questions, I encourage you to leave them in the comment section below. I do read those, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that I have the answers to. Until next time, safe cruising and God bless.